Hi, hope everyone's having a good Friday. I'm Robert. I'm going to do a little drawing. Every day I want to try to open myself up to doodle a little bit, free the mind, let my hands flow, and just experiment with what my fingers can put onto a piece of paper, see where that might go. Let's have fun on this Friday. Never really know where I'm going to start. Sometimes we just add a few marks to a page to alleviate the tension of that blank page. Then we begin to come in and find something between those marks. Maybe in this one, we'll start expanding the mark to a shape. Start to look for what comes. Follow a series of simple moves. And draw my way into those marks. And you start to work around them. You're beginning to have some geometry of the eye, perhaps. Alright, start to flow that. I like to use this to begin to establish the page, to learn how my arm and hand want to flow, and then just track it, expand it out, see where it goes. Maybe add some new marks. Take in, change the scale a little bit. Just start to have fun with that initial move as it plays around the page. Now, if you've watched some of my mindful drawing videos, this isn't too different from that. I like to bring some attention to the drawing so that I can start to explore what spaces it merged within in this, and then take a little pencil to add some shade into the new spaces. And the sketching and doodling is about that smoothness, that flow. The hard lead's working to make a light impression. Go with that. I want to kind of start to fill space and tone on the page. Explore these gaps between marks. And that 6B here, that very soft graphite, really lets me get toned down on the page quickly. And that's something I want to explore in this channel, is some of these basic and simple fundamental techniques of drawing. The use of pencils, the common drawing pencils, the use of ink and marker and pen, and how that connects with the way we hold them, the way we interact with them, the way we use them to explore our creativity on the page, both through a mindful, generative practice, one that just lets us explore and flow, and also through a more deliberate practice of really exploring techniques and working on developing our skills of drawing so we can communicate our ideas, show them to others, talk about them. It's a visual image. And my work kind of bridges two worlds, one of design. I work on designing spaces, kind of the realm of architecture. And I also teach in the realm of architecture, really focusing on representation and technologies of making, ways to bridge that gap between our virtual intentions, right? Something that might be in our mind or in the computer, and something we want to get into physical material in this space. And drawing is one of those ways that starts to bridge it, right? The drawing itself becomes a physical artifact in the world. Maybe we can share, document, hand to a friend, or hang on a wall. And that's often the first step, the start to generating ideas that can inspire others to work with us to build them, whether that's the inside of a person's house or a space, or a piece of furniture, or just a piece of sculpture and artwork. I like to explore that intersection quite a lot, see where drawings can become things in themselves, material things in the world. It's the space and job of an architect and a designer. I've got these marks starting to find their own flow into the more open territory, maybe pulled towards the pen, but not having to fill, maybe pulled towards themselves to be the in-between space. I think the great part about this doodling and practicing both the technical skills of drawing, but also this space of just having no expectations, no concern with whether the drawing is going to come out good or bad, but just an accumulation of density and information through a medium on a page we can find something in. Or because this is a note card, no real consequence or permanence, we can also discard. It's just an exercise. So let me know in the comments. What are your doodles? When do you doodle? When do you explore with your hand? For me, a lot. Some phone calls, lectures, meetings. Helps me focus, helps me stay attentive. Also record some aspect of the interaction and the information for me that when I come back to later triggers a memory, a response, or sometimes it's just a strange image on a page that I have no idea where it came from. But in school, I really enjoyed looking back at my notes and studying for a test or something and seeing all these rich, elaborate doodles that had emerged and trying to connect them with what was on that page in terms of my text notes. I'm wondering, some were inspired by the things we were seeing maybe in slides or hearing about in a lecture. Others are just the random thoughts that need to find their way out so that we can actually bring our attention to what we're learning. There's a lot of noise happening up there, and for me, drawing is a way to begin to quiet that noise. It's quite interesting for me to talk while drawing. Sometimes I get really pulled in and absorb just the feeling of the pencil here on the page and begin to forget to engage and interact and keep that flow going with text. But other times, as I let my hand and mind work together and just draw and flow, then I'm not so much paying attention to what's drawing here. I'm not concerned with what comes out, just letting what my eyes track and what something there in my mind, my hand decide to place, to work with a memory of years of sketching and doodling things, of drawing figurations, impossible images, and just seeing where it goes. I'm kind of liking this one here, but it's a little heavy. It's a little dense on the page and maybe needs a bit of fine grain. And begin to complete my ideas of the doodle so I can come in with a lighter pen and just give some of these edges a little bit more shape, stroke, extension into the space, a little flourish. Stay off the pencil there. We start to learn things in the doodle that has less consequence about how mediums mix, and that graphite really doesn't like to interact with this ink here, this flowing liquid ink. They don't play well together, and so we kind of got to keep them apart and use them to build boundaries. Let's get in here and see what we can pull from these as they flow from the marker and this lighter, more veiny, really black liquid ink into the space here. Giving some depth and dimension just by holding out an edge, drawing it towards those first marks. It becomes like a reflection of the act here. As that page, sheet, or blank space in your sketchbook begins to fill, the notebook becomes too dense to draw anymore. You can't zoom in and continue to fill it in. We come to an end of our sketch. I like to take a look at them, feel out what I discovered. I know I'd draw probably a lot of shapes like this kind of like curve, this flowing inflection that then bifurcates and makes space within itself. It's something I'm drawn to. It's something I find a lot in nature, in the shape of a leaf or the shape of an eye socket. It's present in many things, and I've pulled a lot of that in drawing and modeling from these natural objects. So they're part of my hand and eye's natural language. And what becomes your hand and eye's natural language? The way you draw. What figures start to emerge? And how can you build upon those into whatever practice you do? Let me know. I'd like to hear from you in the comments or drop a message. If you like the content, please subscribe, like it, spread the word, help us grow the channel, and share your drawings.